said you want to speak, or you just want me to mention it? Are you listening? I was going to hand it over to Kessa about she's the only person on the docket tonight. Can you guys hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Alrighty.
Sorry about that. I had to pause the cartoon. Yeah, we had a pretty good turnout yesterday for. I'll play it again in a minute, baby. For the Mandalorian episode 1. And so next Friday on the 14th, we'll be playing Mandalorian episode 2 at the same time. So anybody who wants to is welcome to join us. Yeah.
All right. I understand that you played it twice last night and had pretty reasonable turnout both times.
Yeah, there was one person who had come in late and they had time and I had time, so we just played it again. And I'll gladly do that next week too if everybody who wants to see it again has time.
Do you find that most people who are watching Mandalorian through CC have never seen it before, or enjoying it for the second or third time?
I know I had 3 or 4 people who had not seen it before, for sure. I can't say for sure that anybody had seen it before except for me. So yeah, a lot of people haven't seen it, and that's why I think there was that much interest. And I've been trying to avoid spoilers in the text for all the people who haven't seen it because it's a really good show. It's best not to spoil it.
I agree. Alrighty. Anybody else have anything to say about movie nights, or want to get in on any questions about it or anything like that? Alrighty. This is the point where I say, does anybody have any open meeting business they'd like to toss out? If you don't feel comfortable tossing it out to the community at large by voice, we have the text channel meeting hall. You can post there. If you don't want to do that, or you want to be anonymous, you can message any of our council members, and we'll take care of it for you. And any meeting business would include simple questions. Anything about our community, how it runs, what games we play, problems you may have had with Discord or website, anything at all. That's what the meeting's for. My only question about version 18 there, Sky Ranger, is did you get your paycheck yet?
Football, I couldn't agree more.
It's possible that there's been a mix-up at the post office. Please don't hold your breath until it arrives. We wouldn't want to lose you. Alrighty, one more call for anybody that has any open meeting business of any kind whatsoever. That's what the meetings are for. It's what we all sit in quiet little dark places on tenterhooks for 2 weeks for these incredible, amazing meetings. And now it's here and nobody wants to say a thing. Type it out, David. We will wait on you. Well, see, what happened, Doctor, was you failed to fill out a certain form in triplicate, so there was there was like a tariff type of fine placed on your order, and it ate up your amount. So what he's saying, guys, is he can hear you if it's more expedient to speak. Good question, though, David. We encourage people to get involved and to try and toss events and things together. So always feel free to inquire about things like that. Anybody else have any questions or concerns or anything like that? Alrighty, just for the because we're in a meeting and it's a good place to mention it. There have been a couple of occasions recently where individuals have come into voice channels where people are actively playing games and actively involved in something, and they kind of sort of interrupted the flow of what was going on to ask questions that they could probably have found the answer to without too much trouble. And as leaders, we want to say a couple things about that. Number one, from as far back as our original days when we were a Counter-Strike playing community, if you were an admin and you were on the server and somebody had a question, you would jump out of your role of playing the game and address that concern, because that's why you're a leader. So if somebody pops into your game channel and they're being a little bit maybe breaking into what's going on, please remember that we're Christians first and gamers second, and try and be as gracious as you can be. On the flip side of that, the second thing we want to tell people is please don't be obviously rude. If you know for a fact that there's a large group of people that are engaged in something, maybe you shouldn't walk right in and start talking. Just to give you an example, if you walked in on the prayer meeting while it was going on, that sort of thing. Indeed, Doctor. God gave you a brain. Please use it. We try not to place stumbling blocks in front of others, and occasionally when you do things like that in a voice channel, you could foster an emotional reaction in one of your brothers and sisters. So please just be mindful of what you're doing and what you're asking. And if all else fails, you can always text any of our leaders through direct messages, and we'd be happy to answer your question. And if we can't answer it like right away, we'll get to it. I just wanted to bring that up because that's kind of been a thing over the course of the last few days where we've seen that happen a couple of times. And we just don't want people to get hot under the collar, but at the same time, we want everybody to understand that if somebody asks you a question and you can be of service to that person, please try to be of service first, other than being mad or upset. Alrighty, and one last time, just because it's been a quick meeting and people are so untalkative, does anybody have anything they'd like to discuss, ask questions about? Doesn't matter what it is. Anything we can do to help? Several people are typing. Sky wants to answer Fishstick's questions. I have a question, Sky. Is he breaded in normal fish breading, or is it like wheat, fish breading, or? David, when it comes to adding games in our community, it's not so much whether it's a particular type of game or a particular title. It's usually about how many people play it. So we add channels for games that get a lot of traction. If you have several people you play GTA 5 with or Red Dead Redemption 2, absolutely. Otherwise, you can always start I don't know if you have to have a specific role for this, but you can start a temporary channel anytime you like if you're a certain role. What's the lowest role you have to be, Sky? Oh, okay, so if you're recognized, you could actually start a temporary channel. The thing is, when you leave that temporary channel, it ceases to be. Again, now you'd have to have a lot of people playing that game with you for it to have its own channel. It's not about the content or what it is. It's more about like there are a bazillion games we could have channels for. And as such, we could have a bazillion channels in our Discord. As you can see, we already have plenty. So I don't want to overdo it. Well, I mean, I'm fully aware of Mortal Kombat 10 and all the games actually, but I'm trying not to address that part of it so much as to say, even if we have like a mature channel for people who like that game, we wouldn't want to start a channel for a game that doesn't get a lot of people playing it. One reason we don't have a Mortal Kombat 10 channel is probably because we don't have a lot of people that play that kind of game. As another good point, Amaroth, is that we have general game rooms for people that just want to hop in game, and if other people are interested, they can ask them what they're playing and so on and so forth. But yeah, temporary channels, if you find yourself really getting into a game that you're not sure everybody here plays, feel free to create a temporary channel and maybe people will hop in and go, hey, I have that. Any other questions or concerns? I'll wait for David and Kess to stop typing. We are all waiting for you, Kess. No pressure. That's a good point. For those that aren't aware, Wednesday game nights are free to play. It's always a free to play game. A lot of times it's a game like this last week where it's you don't actually have to have the game. You can play alongside the people who do. Like the Jackbox Party Packs games. Yeah, I can talk. Anyway, Kessa has been endeavoring to give a game key for a free game away pretty much every week. It's usually done by a random number generator. So anybody that hasn't attended one of those, I can tell you for sure if it's a Jackbox game, it's usually a giggle fest. It's usually quite funny. You can tell by the screenshots that are posted later that it's usually a little bit out there. It's kind of a, I guess you just had to be there to understand the humor kind of thing.
Are we allowed to donate keys?
You can actually get together with us if you have some keys that you don't need for games. Absolutely.
Actually, half the keys I have right now to give away were donated.
Okay.
So absolutely.
I got too many I don't need, so yeah, I'll get in contact.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Not just game keys. If you guys get like the occasional productivity software, anything like that. Like sometimes Humble Bundle gives away stuff that's like for making your own games or programming, anything like that. Ebooks, doesn't matter. Anything that would allow us to promote our game nights. We can put that on Facebook or Steam or anywhere else, and we can say, hey, free game giveaway. People discover us that way. Hey, new members. Guess what? They can come again the next night to Bible study. See how that works? Actually, I can't speak for Cass, but the last time I checked, I think we had several hundred keys to give away. Is that still true? And
I apologize. my niece is on my lap, and I sometimes I can't get to my phone, and I can't tell if I'm muted or not. What was the question again?
Do you still have like several hundred game keys?
I don't personally. I probably have access to them through the Trello, but I have a bundle that I got on Humble specifically to raffle during game nights, and there's, I don't know, 20, 30 games in that list. And then someone donated me another bundle. Yes, I will in a minute, baby. So I have enough to keep the game nights going for quite a while. So if you guys have games that you want to donate and they're about to expire, let me know, and I'll raffle those first. And if if there's a bunch of them, I can raffle 2 or 3 a night. I just was trying to make sure that the keys I had were going as far as possible.
Already, just to put this out there, a lot of people might not be aware. We do have a couple of newer people in the room. You may not be aware that CC has other things that we do. For example, there's an app that you can become part of. I think it's YouVersion, where several members of our community are doing a Bible reading plan together. And through this app, they're able to sort of keep up with each other on what devotions they're on at the time, that kind of thing. We have groups of people that sometimes get together and use various apps to draw together collaboratively. We have a Twitch channel, which primarily right now streams our Bible studies. But if we ever had people who wanted to, learn something through tutorials or whatever, we'd be absolutely love to hear, suggestions for things like that. We have so many different things we can do. We have quite a few blogs on our website. If you haven't been to our website, you might want to take a look at some of those. One of the ones that's really gotten a lot of views lately is Ongirth has a blog called Readiness, and a lot of his blogs have to do with being prepared in interesting and strategic situations, such as what's going on in certain cities right now. So there's a lot of content, a lot of things to do in our community you may not be aware of at the moment. Look around, ask questions, and suggest anything you'd like to see that you don't see now, and we'll see what we can do to help. We do have a YouTube channel as well, so if it came down to people wanting to hear or see certain things from us, we might could look into it. So never feel like not giving suggestions or thoughts, because we love to hear that. Participation, folks.
Also, don't feel too bad if it is rejected. We can do a lot of things, but we can't do everything. So just also keep that in mind. You can bring in all the suggestions you want, but we're not going to be able to do everything. It's just not possible. Not you shouldn't suggest things. Just make sure you know that we can't do everything.
Alrighty, in light of that, and the multiple times I've asked if anybody had open meeting business and nobody responded, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out. What do you got, Doctor?